Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Ross, introduce your undefeated guests.
Today, we have a pair of undefeated featherweights from SBG Ireland. We have the Drogheda the Destroyer, Ciaran Clarke, and the Moville Mauler, Darragh Kelly. Lads, how are we doing?
All's good, lads.
Yeah, good. Can't complain.
Two very scary and handsome lads, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Two movie stars in the making as well. The lads are absolutely smashing it. Ciaran, I'm going to start with yourself. Obviously, big news of the last couple of months was you got your documentary Relentless made. What was the process of that like, and what made you think of doing a documentary in the first place?
Well, a fella called Jamie Sherry from Manifest Media. He's actually a fellow loud man. He came to me around last year, the Christmas last year, and he wanted to make a video on me. I think it was after me the fight in November with Jordan Barton. Was a bit of buzz, and he walked in Drogheda and stuff as well. So it's kind of a bit of a buzz about the town, and he said he'd like to make a video on me. So we did the video, and it was classic. It was only a little 2-minute video, and it got good response. And then came to me then in the summer then and said, "Look, I'd love to make a documentary on you." And I was like, deadly happy days. And I wasn't too full on for the idea because I don't know, like someone following you around all the time for that length of time, especially with the training and that for fights, it was tough. And then so I was well on for that. I said, look, it'd be brilliant to be good to get out there and even to look back in the years to come and stuff. And then then we were doing the filming, and then we obviously done the kind of a documentary show night for charity. And again, I wasn't on for all that. He was telling me getting tuxes and everything, and I was like, not a chance. And then he said, look, we'll do it for charity. And then we ended up raising $5.5 grand nearly in the night then, so it was class, you know.
That's absolutely brilliant. Ciaran, you're an absolute stalwart of the Drogheda community. You really are. Like, no, there's not a better representative of Drogheda than yourself, and that's not just a sports person. Like, you do a lot for that community, so fair play to you.
Mr. Drogheda.
Yeah, he's not to be messed with either. He's not to be messed with. But Darragh, I saw yourself with JC and Fighters 365 have been doing some great work on the last show, and then obviously I'm interested will be more of that sort of stuff for this show. I know JC is now signed to SBG Ireland, which is great for the gym. It's a great bit of initiative shown by the gym to really up that media game.
Yeah, so we've been doing stuff now for about, I'd say, 2 years now. He's a lot of footage there that, you know, he could destroy me with if he wanted, but the plan in the future then is to make something like, you know, a decent documentary or whatever if the day ever comes where it's worth making. And as Ciaran says too, it's just nice to have it for the future as well to look back on. But should be starting now this week, starting to do a few videos now for the build up to this one.
Actually, I'm going to ask you both. I'll start with yourself, Ciaran. Do you ever feel uncomfortable in front of the camera at first when, like, you know, it's just following you around, watching you do your day-to-day bits, and then do you feel more comfortable with it now?
Yeah, you definitely feel get comfortable with it already, but it is strange at the start, and especially when you're doing it, not too bad, but when you're doing your day-to-day life stuff, it's kind of weird, you know, to way. But
well, when you're in Aldi or Lidl and you're in the supermarket and someone's there with a camera in your face,
when you're signing autographs.
It was strange, but I'm alright. If you ask me a question, I'll talk for Ireland. But if you ask me to talk in front of a camera, I find it hard to make up the words. As I said, if you ask me a question, I'll talk. But you know, if you just say right, start talking here, it's very hard for me. So I was a bit of getting used to doing things like that. But yeah, you get used to it anyway.
Yeah. Well, you won't stop talking here. Ciaran, tell us this: if people want to check out the documentary, I know you had a big, massive screen, and you looked unbelievable in that tux. Like, can people check it out like online? Can you tell us how to check it out?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a bit of hurdles at the minute with it, lads. The Virgin Media was showing interest in it, and we're still kind of waiting more back, but it's not looking good. But they showed interest, which was great. But then he was trying to get on YouTube and stuff, but there was a bit of copyright things and stuff, so it's a few hurdles. But we're looking to try getting out soon on some sort of platform that you can watch it, you know. So I'll keep everyone posted on that, you know, because it seems to be a bit.
Virgin Media, if you're listening, like, it would be an epic thing to release like a week or two out from Bellator Dublin. Like, that's what I'd be thinking.
that was our plan anyway. I think it was to get the build up to the next one. But look, see what happens. It's great that they're even interested. Like,
yeah, make sure to check out Ciaran's Instagram for all the latest details. Darragh, Ross was asking Ciaran about feeling nervous or more comfortable in camera. Like, how do you feel now with 365 following you?
I was definitely more nervous at the start. Like, you can't help but think. I always thought, you'd be looking stupid doing that or whatever. And then the more he's with you, the more you just acting yourself. And so having him around too, it prepares you for all the media and stuff like that. I suppose you just get used to it. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Ross, that's actually really good the way the lads are like promoting themselves, promoting the fights, getting people more interested, more energized in the build up to their fights by doing these documentaries.
Yeah, definitely. I think fans love to see the behind the scenes footage. They like to see what fighters do in the build up to the fight. Hence why, like UFC embedded is such a massive thing, and road to the octagon, the UFC, and it's nice to see that SBG Ireland have taken it upon themselves to get these mini docu series made. And like even like seeing the weight cutting before the last show and stuff like that was really, really cool. So I'm all for it. I think it creates a much bigger buzz around the show and much bigger buzz around the fighters.
If one of us go to war, we all go to war.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Darragh, one thing that definitely struck me coming into this fight is the drop down to featherweight. Where did that come from? And tell us a bit about it.
Well, maybe a lot of people are asking me about this. Like, everyone's saying I'm too big and different things, but like a couple of years ago, I was a lightweight. I was 83, 84 kilo, had a lot more muscle on me, and I was just getting a bit smaller. And I think my last fight, like, I only went down about 6 kilo over on the week and only cut about 3.5 in the sauna, and I was done in an hour. And I thought I could. I thought on that day that if I had to make 66, I could have handy enough. So I just went for it now.
Yeah,
you're not coming for Ciaran Clarke, are you?
I'm after them all.
No, what's it called? I'm not against the move. If you feel comfortable making that move, well, then, like, what I mean, it's your fight career. You know what I mean? You should definitely get the option to it. Like, yeah, like obviously you have a lot of muscle mass, but there's very little body fat there. So hopefully, it's just the water weight cut. But it is definitely interesting to see. Ciaran, how do you compare Darragh compared to other 66 featherweights?
Yeah, since Darragh's making that move, I think I'm going to go down to flyweight myself, to be honest. So
I'll see you there, bud. Right, Ross, you coming?
Yeah. No, that way, like even that lightweight, and to be honest, like, I'll be completely honest, I think even the welterweight is a monster, So coming down to featherweight is a scary thought, all right. And look, I think no matter what weight class Darragh goes, I think he's gonna be. I can't see him beat for a long time, to be honest. So yeah, look, he's made it before, amateur and stuff, and undefeated there still as well. So it's look, he feels obviously comfortable, and look, as I said, any weight class with Darragh, he's an absolute. It's a skill set for me, It doesn't matter the weight. So yeah, he's going to stay undefeated for a long time, I think.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. Like Darragh's sort of blown through his competition so far. So long may it last. Long may it last.
Another thing we have to touch on as well, Darragh, you were on the ESPN. Was it
25 under 25?
25 under 25. Like, how did that come about, and like, how did that make you feel as well, getting that? Because like that's big news for people fighting in Ireland as well.
Yeah, like I've seen a few boys sending me the post. Just sent you a post by ESPN. I didn't know what it was. I went in there. Obviously, seen it as part of the list. Wasn't expecting it, of course, but kind of shows me what people think of me, and just that I've got to prove them right now. I need to prove that I do deserve to be on that list. So kind of motivated me. It's good to be on it.
Yeah, it's definitely there's some star-studded names on that list, so it's great to see a part of it, and well deserved, to say the least. One thing I did want to touch on with you guys as well is Barry said to me before we went live, and said to yourselves, is there's 13 SPG fighters on this next card. That is absolutely insane. I had to go back and look at the card. I didn't even think there was 13 fights on it. That must be incredible atmosphere in the gym for you guys. Ciaran, we'll start with yourself. What's it like getting ready And is it so much more helpful knowing that there's another 13 bodies getting ready with you at the same time?
Oh yeah, big time. Like you said, it's just there's a buzz about the gym, and it reminds me when I first started in SPG, like with the, you got that real feeling of being a part of something like big, like with the, with the lads. It was that real SPG feel with the yellow mats, like all Paddy, Ash, Connor, obviously Gunny, Cottle Pendred, all the likes of them, and obviously I was only amateur at the time, and you get that kind of feeling you're a part of that now, and like the likes of myself with Darragh and all the rest of the lads, and we're all preparing together, and it's I think we go strength to strength with that because we're all preparing for the same thing at the same time. So everybody's in the gym working hard and getting better, and then even when when the fights aren't coming up so close, like we're all then in the gym same again, trying to get better and bouncing off each other. So it's great,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Darragh, do you have anything to add to that? Do you feel more prepared knowing that you're getting your weight down at the same time as everyone else? The hard spars are probably coming at the same time.
It's great having so many on. I feel like in a way like you're like a soldier, part of an army on that day. Like it's 13. I didn't think it was that much now, but it's great having everyone pushing together, and you're all motivating each other, and just it's nice being part of it. Yeah,
especially I think I touched on last time, having like so many guys between sort of bantam and lightweight, preparing at the same time as well. Like that's
excluding Johnny Walker, Ross.
Yeah, he's living his high life now after that spectacular finish in Brazil.
Yeah, shout out Johnny. Lads, how do things sort of get mapped out for yourselves in the build up to one of these events with so many lads on the card fighting, and girls? Like do they separate you as being like, right, the featherweights over here, or like can you break it down a bit for us just for tuning in, because there is a lot of people there, and John Kavanagh will probably be sitting at the cage the whole night. I say that seat will be very warm.
Yeah, well, like it's like you said there, it's kind of the two weights, all those weights. It's they're obviously popular weights, but bantam, the lightweight. So there's always so many bodies there for us, and we kind of all just stick together, and we're always looking for the hard rounds anyway, So it's myself and Darragh got a lot of rounds, and like Richie Smullen and all the lads, like we're all trained together hard. So it's not really that hard, like because I said there's so many of us. So.
Okay. And then who will also be in your corner on the night as well, lads? Ciaran, could you tell us first?
It's obviously John and Dave Roach, and then your brother Darrell. Then obviously two of us coming up together, and do a lot of training with Darrell back home here and that, and without the training in Dublin there, to be doing drills back home, pads, stuff like that, just working things that outside of HQ and that. So it's great to have him in the corner. I'll always have him there,
Love it. And Darragh, what about yourself? Who'll be in your corner on the night?
Dave and John as well, obviously, and then I'm not too sure of the third man, but like last time it was Richie Smullen, and obviously he's fighting this time around, so I'll have to have a think about that. Maybe I'll get one of my brothers in as well.
Well, Ross, I think you're free tonight, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you do it, Ross.
I'll bounce in.
You got a pair of glasses as well.
Yeah. Stick the glasses on, you can hop in.
Yeah, like if you get taken down, I'll give like real good advice, like get up, or I'll say punch him.
Just stand up.
Just stand up. Yeah, knock him out.
Yeah.
Don't let him hit you. I'll be giving that stellar advice from the corner.
My granny gives me that advice. I know, I don't let him hit you. I said, right, okay, yeah, every week.
I'm just writing this advice down. What else? Knock him out.
Hit him in the face.
Hit him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Be nice to the ref. Keep your manners. But guys, there really is no other show like a Dublin show. It really it is spectacular. The vibe, the people is incredible. Is there any ever desire to fight outside of Dublin as well? I know you guys have led your sort of majority of your career in Dublin, and like they love having you on the Dublin show. But would you like to expand it, or are you just comfortable fighting in Dublin at the moment, and then like when you get a few more wins under your belt, then you'll look to go elsewhere?
Go on ahead, Darragh.
Well, Ciaran fought in Paris before, so I know they have a card in May. Don't know what the chances are of me getting on that, but if I can go in and put on the press and performance, I'd love to get a run out in May. if not May, then I think they're having a Milan show in the summer, I heard. So, you know, I'd love to get one in between the two Dublin shows and get 3 out this year, you know.
And what about yourself, Ciaran? Would you like another trip to Paris, or would Milan be more of an exotic destination for you?
Yeah, look, I think I'd love to obviously hopefully get the win now and you know, be in the talks or something this summer. So that's definitely the plan because yeah, I've had 5 in Dublin now and the one in Paris. Just the way it worked out now, I was blessed because the way the pandemic worked out and all that, I was lucky to get the 2 fights that year in 2020. But yeah, no, definitely feeling it now. I'd love to really get something abroad and you know, just even I think the Dublin shows are a lot different and obviously a lot more pressure and stuff and when you're fighting abroad and that, it's different feeling, you know. It's you really have that feel of, I don't know, fighting internationally is something different, like, you know. So I definitely loved. I didn't know about that actually. Milan card Darragh mentioned there, so that'd be great. Obviously, there've a lot of Italian fighters, so it makes sense. But I'd love something like that, and all Paris doesn't bother me. The 3 year I'm aiming for this year, so hopefully 3 wins as well. So Dublin at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, it's just obviously we're Irish MMA fans if you didn't notice, but it's just like we're obviously big fans of a lot of these in SBG. Like we wouldn't have you on the show if we weren't big fans of you. And I think like if you're just only competing twice on the Dublin cards a year, it just sort of like hinders the audience keeping an eye on you and still being invested. It's just if you're fighting more times, people will see exactly what you're doing. So it's just like just to put the other side of the coin is as well. Nobody else tunes into a Bellator show as much as they tune into a Bellator Dublin show. So
basically, what we want to see is we want to see on both Dublin shows, but then we also want to see on additional show. We're a bit greedy, lads. If that's all right.
No, I even think I think it builds a better buzz then for the Dublin shows, you know, because I think I even feel it like, you know, sometimes with the tickets and that when it's constantly Dublin, like it's like. There's not much as much of a buzz, you know. Whereas me and Darragh go off now and get a win now in the summer, and it's like, oh, buzzing to see the boys now in September. You don't have to wait. Whereas if you have that kind of gap where you don't have that, and then it's like, you know, it's Dublin again. So I just think it builds more of a buzz for the Dublin shows. Then, you know, they want to go see you more, and it doesn't leave that kind of break between the February and September. That's when they're coming back, you know.
Maybe I'm just being too greedy.
One thing I want to touch on, because I know for your last fight it happened that way. Do you ever know almost too far in advance your next fight? Because I think at one stage, Ciaran, I think you knew like 16 weeks out or something when your next fight was.
Yeah, it was actually me and Darragh had a chat one day in the dressing rooms about. We were like, you know, it's hard to like, you know, as soon as a name gets towards you, I know you put towards you there, you're just like, it's just you're in that mode then straight away thinking about that fella and. You're training to, you know, the things he's good at, or you know, where you can win. So it is hard. In 16 weeks, like, you know, I fought amateur and like, and you know, you'd have something.
Probably have 10 fights in that amount of time.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, it is hard. But again, look, you're just more prepared now. But I did learn a lot from the last one because, like you said, 16, 15 weeks out, like I kind of peaked a bit early and I was picking up knocks, and, you know, so you kind of learn. You know, throughout these things, but yeah, look, it is what it is, and just happy to be getting the fights this year, you know.
And then, what about yourself, Darragh? Do you like having that like extra bit of time, knowing so far you're getting ready in advance, or just like do you feel like you almost go up and down a bit because you're obviously get excited for your fight, and then you're like, geez, this fight's still ages away.
I like, you know, 16 weeks is too long. I find you can't enjoy nothing either. Like, even if you're eating some nice food or something, I start to feel guilty thinking about that. But I'd rather just know like 9-10 weeks out. That's plenty of time for me. I don't want to be thinking about it too much before that. Like,
yeah. So I suppose next time you're matched that far out, you can just be told nothing and just continue on your training until about 10 weeks out, and then be like, all right, now we can get excited for this guy and remain excited for it. But I do want to touch on your last fights. Ciaran, you make all the Irish fans watch with their hearts and their mouths. You know what I mean? There's some moments in the fight where it's not looking so good for you, but like as the fight progresses, you seem to always get better and better. Is that just due to, you know, your gas tank, or is that as well as getting like that great advice from the corner?
Yeah, look, I said I always give a few people a heart attack, but I don't plan that.
Just a few, man.
But look, Yeah, I just think everybody's a good round or two in them, and I think probably like look, as I said, everybody trains hard, everybody's fit, and But I think maybe for me, I don't know, like maybe I'm able to stay calm in the tough situations, and I think that's maybe it. Look, not saying I'm coming in there in top shape, obviously, but I'm able to stay calm in the worst situations. After getting dropped first round, losing, and. So yeah, I think maybe I've that behind me, So, but yeah, that's all really it is for me. Just staying calm and knowing, look, it's 15 minutes is a long time in there, and it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say. You know what I mean? And I'm constantly putting my pace on them. I'm always in their face, and they're reacting to me. Whereas yeah, I think if you took the foot off the gas there, then the fight could be different. So yeah, look, I just have that mindset anyway, and I always did. It's just keeping it going now and again. Hopefully, make it an easier fight now next time.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, you're definitely calm in the chaos, which is good to see. And put it this way, it's always very, very exciting, one way or the other. But yeah, like your ability to finish late is next to none in that cage. So we really love watching it. It's great to watch. But an easy win would be nice to watch it as well. Although, like, was the last fight was the shoulder injury? Was it?
No, it was the.
Was that 2 fights ago?
That was 2 fights ago, yeah.
Okay,
so
that's great.
That 2 fights ago, yeah.
The last fight was the rear naked choke.
That's right, the rear naked choke in the third, yeah.
Yeah. What's called a lot of the shows like amalgamate into the one for us as well. I'm like, wait, which one those would last? But yeah, like 2 finished in your last 2 fights, unbelievable. Like that's what we like to see. And like I found this. I just wanted to touch on the show one because that was almost weird because like some people were almost like being like, oh, your man was just injured, but like you injured him, so therefore it was damage done on your behalf.
Yeah, look, if you watch the fight, like, and I actually I catch that technique a lot in training. Actually, you trap the elbow when you roll through, and I caught him in my fight actually in Paris, the John and Di fight. I caught it twice, I think, actually. But if they're very stubborn, if they commit to the grip too much, he didn't want to roll through, and because of that, then his shoulder hit the mat, and it forces you to roll, and if you don't, your shoulder, your head's going to hit the mat. And fortunately for me, his shoulder hit the mat. And you can see straight away, as soon as we get up off the ground, you can see the AC joint is straight away out. And then obviously he was couldn't continue then. So, yeah, and in the moment, as I said, I didn't understand if it was an injury or what. And it was a weird one. I didn't understand how it happened. But looking back, it definitely... as much as it still is a mad one, it's definitely, I'd take it as a stoppage because it wasn't as if he slipped in the banana peel in there. He was fighting me, like, and I done the damage,
Yeah, we inflicted enough damage how we couldn't get off the stool, so like that's enough for me anyway.
Yeah.
Darragh, obviously your last fight, you made the judges earn their money for the first time ever in your career. Obviously you were, I think one of the touching moments of the last one is how disappointed you were to actually go the distance. What was that like, and what was the learnings and takeaways from that?
I was obviously very disappointed, but geez, I learned more in that one than I'd say the rest of the fights combined. There's a lot of reasons for that too. Is like I went too far down the rabbit hole with the grappling, and I was neglecting my striking for a long time, and I knew that myself. But I just kept allowing myself to keep working on my grappling, put my head in the sand with my striking. But now I feel like I've really addressed all the holes in my game since the last one. I've improved. I've patched them up. That's kind of what I'm happiest about now. I've really patched up a lot of holes from my last game that were evident. I was disappointed in that fight because I rushed everything. I was very inefficient with my energy, and just small technical mistakes the whole way throughout the fight just made it what it was. But as you said, now I've learned from it, and I'm happy that I got to, what would you say? I made the mistakes and I've patched them up now. So.
Yeah. And just before we touch on your new fights, I'm going to ask you both. I'll start with yourself, Ciaran. What fight do you want to watch most on the Dublin card that's not your own or Darragh's?
Let me see. Probably it'd be either the Pedro fight or Richie's fight, to be honest. I think they're two top scraps, and obviously a lot of stake there for the two boys. I think Pedro's probably a win away from another shot at the title, and then I think Richie wins that one. I think he's straight into he should be fighting someone ranked, you know. Obviously, Richie, a lot of experience. He's fought in the tough house, and he's had his UFC experience, and you know, he's undefeated at Bellator. No, sorry, he won last at Bellator with a split decision. I thought he won, and you know, wins fights against Reece McKee, all top boys, you know. So I think Richie's one win away then from really fighting top boys, and then obviously Pedro as well. So they're probably the two fights I'm really looking forward to. So.
And what about yourself, Darren? And you can't jump on Ciaran's bandwagon. You have to pick someone else.
I was going to pick Richie as well.
We're all going to pick Richie. He gets chicken fingers after and shows them to the crowd after he wins.
That'll be great. I'll be there. Azil, I'm looking forward to his fight as well, because I think the boys' fight is it Liam. What's his name? Liam McCracken, is it? Or
yeah, McGrattan, I think.
So I think it's his name anyway, but I heard he's decent as well. And obviously, Azil's top of the food chain in there. So I'm excited to see that one. I think he'll have another big performance.
Yeah, that's a guy out of horror level, isn't it? I think.
Scottish not fella, too sure. No, I don't think he's Scottish. No? Okay. Maybe I've got the wrong guy now.
I think it's Jim or something. I think it might be.
Who is it?
I think it might be Dean Garnett's gym. I think.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere around there. But I heard he's very good too. So that'll be interesting now to see that one.
Yeah, definitely. I think Barry. Actually, while we're here, which one are you looking forward to most? The ones not named.
It's always great to see Brian Moore back in action, and then I have to give a shout out to Sinead Kavanagh. So Ross, who's left for you to pick?
Well, I'm very interested to see Carl Moore after his performance in the last fight. Like, that was absolutely sick. Yeah. So like, I'm dying to see him back in there, and like, who doesn't like watching the big boys bang it out? So I'm very interested, and like, I feel like he's got a very hard under the radar opponent. So I think if he wins this, let's get the respect on his name he deserves, and let's have him fight, you know, one of the top contenders.
Yeah, the fighters from SPG on the card are obviously Ciaran and Darragh. There's also Pedro Carvalho, Peter Creedy, Sinead Kavanagh, Richie Smullen, Azil Adio. How do I say that second name? Azil?
Just Azil will do.
Azil. Sorry, Azil. Kenny Moko Nohana, Daniel Scatizzi, Carl Moore, Charlie Ward, Brian Moore, and Luca Poklit. So it's going to be an action-packed night, Ross, in the Tree Arena.
Yeah, absolutely, it will. Ciaran, tell us this: what do you make of your opponent this time out, and how do you see the fight going?
Yeah, he's a good lad. I just knew a bit about him from just obviously same weight class fighting in Europe, and I'd imagine I'd probably bump into him some stage if he didn't really progress too much with Cage Warriors and they didn't sign him and EFC and stuff. Now he got his wins and stuff there, but he just didn't sign. So I was thinking maybe he could be a lad that I could end up coming against. So yeah, obviously good lad, fought in those few promotions. Yeah, I feel myself. I think, you know, it could be. I think like the way he fights, I think it could be like, you know, it could be actually over earlier. You know, I think like because he's a game lad, you know. So I think it could be, you know, finish quick or it'll finish late in the sense that it'll be, you know, kind of see good exchanges between the two of us. And because as I said, he's a game lad. But I think yeah, I as I always think as I'm hoping, obviously second, third round, I think I'm going to put the pressure on him, and yeah, I think I'll end up getting some sort of finisher. That's how I see it going anyway.
Yeah, Ciaran Clarke breaks people as well. He does. He breaks their will. And Darragh, what about yourself? How do you see your fight going? And I'm buzzing for your move down to featherweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do think that featherweight will suit me slightly better. Like obviously I'm comfortable at lightweight, but I think I'll just be that much more physical at feather. My opponent, I haven't watched a wild pile on him, but he's not really a striker or a grappler. He's 50-50. I think it's going to be stylistically a nice matchup for me. And although I'm not going to force the finish this time, I think it'll come maybe could be the first or second round, but I'll be more precise and I'm looking to show off a bit of my striking now that all the work I've put in since the last fight. So I think I'll get him out of there at the end of the first or second round.
Yeah, well, like you know, one thing about Darragh Kelly fight, he puts the pressure on from the get-go. You know what I mean? You better get used to running backwards. That's what I'd say.
For the people tuning in now, make sure to get tickets off Ciaran or Darragh. They're going to be the rowdiest sections in the whole Tire 3 Arena on the 25th of February. Ross, take us away, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Ciaran's section will be like Earth nightclub in its prime, and you can't beat the old Movillians. So the place will be absolutely on wheels. Guys, thanks a million for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you do your business on the night. It is going to be an absolute brilliant night for Irish mixed martial arts. Thanks a million for coming on. And as always, stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.